Welcome back to the Plastic Crack Show. I'm your host Lee, and today we have a Generations Transformers Titan Returns Fire Drive and Autobot Hotrod. It's part of the mid-range series for the Titans Return, and of course, like the smaller versions, it is a bubbled card. So that is a bubble with the figure in it on a card back with of course a nice bit of artwork. And if we can get a bit of a close-up of the artwork, because we get this very nice looking artwork of course Fire Drive detaching from of course Hotrod, and of course we have that nice Transformers Generations insignia on the side, and of course the nice Transformers logo, and of course we have Hasbro ages 8 plus, and of course the Autobot insignia with of course Fire Drive and Hotrod. As we come around the side, of course again we get the Titans Return logo with a picture of Fire Drive again detaching from Hotrod. Coming around the back, of course, we get a bit of a blurb on, of course, both Hotrod and Fire Drive. Of course, a bit of information to let us know that, of course, all headmasters will work with this version. And, of course, a few other Transformers in the range, including, of course, Six-Shot Optimus Prime and Breakaway. And, of course, over here we get this wonderful image, of course, showing us that Fire Drive can actually fit inside the driver's seat of course Hotrod. Then down the bottom, because we have a standard bits and pieces warnings, of course not suitable for children under the age of 3, even though it says 8 plus on the front. Of course where it comes from, it's made in Vietnam, and of course that it's licensed by Hasbro Canada because we're in Australia. So of course why would anything be Hasbro licensed from America because we're over here? Who knows? So anyway, we didn't come to look at the beautiful card, we come to look at the figurine. So let's tear him off the card and see what we have. And of course they have a mile of tape. I don't know why, if it's a repackaging thing, but we get a mile of sticky tape on all the Transformers over here. And it makes it very hard to tear a backing card off. Because we don't care about the backing cards on these versions. There's no stats cards or stats information. The only thing we have to be careful of is of course we do get a very nice little trade card style of card that is stuck to the back. We could do this a lot more elegantly with a knife, but I'm a savage, so why would I worry? And we of course get rid of the box, we don't need it. There's our Rodimus Prime in his bubble. We just get this wonderful set of instructions to show us how to transform Hotrod into his car mode, and of course on the back, because apparently we don't know how to do it oh no, different. It's different. So in the other manuals they usually give you both ways transformations, how to go from card to figure to card. This time around they've actually realised that we're smart enough to know how to do both, and on the back they've actually given us a mod out on how to modify our Hotrod. But of course before we can mod Hotrod we need to free him. And before we free him, we need to look at, ooh, something very cool. So we of course have our Hotrod trading card, nice piece of artwork on the front, has of course Fire Drive detaching again. On the back we have a stats card, woo! Love these. These of course were something that was very indicative of the original Transformers series. It used to be put on the back of the boxes. Very cool to see this. Very happy chappy. On the cheaper ones we don't actually get a stats card, we just get an art card, so it's nice to see a stats card. And of course we just have to cut him out, and as always there's a million things to cut out because they're afraid he's going to fall apart, so we just cut him out. Tags everywhere, tags everywhere, gotcha. Oops, sorry, off the camera. I need a bigger camera. And of course I need more people to watch my videos, and let's face it, I'm the most boring person on Facebook, YouTube. Maybe I should go on Facebook. Then I'd be like the most interesting person on Facebook. Coming out. And he's free. So before we get too excited, let's look at him as he is. Get our hands out of the way. And it's not a bad representation. I'll give the Titans Return, they've not been terribly bad with doing representations of the original G1 Transformers. Of course, I'd probably prefer to see that up a bit. maybe, but not a bad representation at all. And of course he sits quite well. There we go, stands on his own. Of course he has both guns, so both guns can go in his arms. And that's just a matter of just putting gun in this hand, gun in this hand. And we have, of course, a gunned up version of Hotrod. And of course articulation, so obviously arm articulation is quite standard. It's a ball joint system. It is a bit of fix than some of the other ones, but it's still a ball joint. Elbow joint is apparently very tight, so but it has got an elbow joint. So range of movement on the elbow is again a full swivel, so we can go all the way over here, hello, and of course full movement. So very cool. And that's of course the same on this one, just very tight. And again, nice full swivel. Legs have of course got a nice joint there, so we can swivel the legs, as well as a nice loose joint, which seems to be a thing in the Titans Returns. But he will kick forward and hold it for a few seconds before he drops it. The tail interferes, but he can pose his knees. Can pose his knees quite well. But is there foot movement? There is limited foot movement. Let's get that there, limited foot movement. Something with the Titans Returns, as with the course of Generations, they do seem to have very weak hips. So I don't know why, but they do. It is what it is. So we will come back in 2 seconds and start the transformation. Okay, so to transform our Hotrod, I always want to call him Rodimus, but it is what it is. First thing we're going to do is going to take off Fire Drive, the Headmaster, and of course we start by taking the hands and just flicking them in like so, and again like so. Now, depending on how you want to do it, the instructions then say you take the legs, being these of course two pieces, and you connect them together. So there's a little tab right there, I don't know if you can see it too well, right there, and it just tabs in like that, tabs together. Then the leg parts flick around like that, so it's a wheel piece on this side, on both sides. They just flick around, and then you just take the feet plates and tilt them in. Now you take the hips, oops, and it's a very loose tab, so it will not hold too well. Take the hips and just spin them. You spin me right round. Oh no, that's a terrible song. Oh, lordy lord. It is very loose. That's the only downside of all the Generations and Titans Returns. It can be very loose. But that's it. Then we take the backpack, take it, spin it, ready to drop down. Come around the front, clear our arms away from the chest plate. The chest plate flicks up like so. Then there's a little piece there that just tabs out like so. Then we can take the back and flick it over, and I've done something horribly wrong. No, I haven't. Flick it like that, and again need to tab it back together. So let's get ourselves a bit further away from the camera. Tab it back together like that, and then the rear falls down on it like that, so you end up with a back that looks like that. Then the arms just drop in and click over, so they will just click in. Again, there's little tab points for them to snap into on either side, and we may need to just wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. There we go. So that of course lines up quite nicely on that side, and the same this side. So you see there's a nice little tab part up the top. We just bring it down, wiggle, 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 and we get, of course, Hotrod in vehicle mode. Sits quite nicely. We'll try and pan in without losing him, and that's always a problem. Wheels fairly nicely. I wouldn't say it's perfect, but a lot of that has to do with, of course, the feet clearance. But It wheels quite nicely, has this nice opening canopy. I'll have to zoom back out in a second, which of course will fit fire drive, and of course fire drive transforms into robot mode by just flicking his legs down. He will then sit in there like so, and that should close. It's not going to, because he's going to occlude it, so we need to just tilt him back a little bit more like that, if you can see okay, and then that should not work either. This is fun. Oh, there's where he hooks in. There we go. It doesn't flick into our... Well, apparently fire drive doesn't fit too well into his driver's seat. There is a tab, I don't know if you can see it in there, where his leg's supposed to connect, and when you do, it doesn't seem to want to connect too well. It could be that he is just awkward. Yes, he doesn't seem to want to sit too well, so maybe it's a way I'm sitting him. It could be a design flaw, it could be a million things. I don't know. Let's see if I can just make it happen. Nope. Oh, it does work. And there we go. So fire drive's now in the cockpit, and the two guns can now sit on the sides. So sorry, one gun. There's a tab there for the second gun. And then you have Hotrod sitting rather awkwardly still for some reason. Oh, that's why. That didn't tab in correctly. Now we have Hotrod still sitting rather awkwardly for some reason, but he's sitting there anyway. And of course there's a last little weird feature. You can take the two guns, take the two guns out, turn them over, and put them in like, let's see what we do on the front. Take it apart for a second, we must put it together separately. So we've got the two guns, they seem to just want to connect together like this, thus, hopefully. Oh, I see. Like thus. Oh, come on. Like thus. And then you get a nice little seat where, again, a headmaster can sit, and that'll then just sit on the bonnet, and you could take, once you remove fire drive from the cockpit, oh, if he ever comes out. Oop, off camera again. Oh Lord. You can put the gun on the front, pull back a bit, way too close. Then we can just grab fire drive, and fire drive can sit in the gunner's seat, which looks a bit weird, but it's in the book, so it must be something that they wanted us to do. And that's it. That's of course Hotrod fire drive, the Generations Titans Return Headmasters. Thank you very much for watching. It looks very cool, as I said, very nice reminiscence of the 1980s inspired look and colouring. The back looks quite nice, front looks quite nice. I was your host Lee, this was the Plastic Crack Show, and we'll see you next time.